The oppressive situation here is that marijuana is currently illegal and being kept that way by the US government, even though there are several good arguments for the benefits of legalizing marijuana. The issue with getting these beliefs understood is that marijuana has always been believed to be an evil drug ever since the 1930s when it was outlawed. So it is a tremendous challenge to get people to accept the benefits of legalization. From a socioeconomic standpoint, it affects all walks of life, from the rich to the poor. There are some social concerns with legalizing marijuana because people fear that everyone will become addicted to the drug. However, this is a ridiculous statement because there are studies that show that marijuana is about as addictive as playing video games or drinking coffee. Unlike nicotine and alcohol, where people develop physical dependencies on the drug and end up having withdrawal issues. And somehow those drugs are legal and marijuana isn't? Marijuana is not new. It has been around for about 10,000 years, and all up until about 3 years after the prohibition of alcohol ended, it has been legal. 3 years after the prohibition of alcohol ended is when the government decided to exploit their taxation powers on alcohol and tobacco, and marijuana became the victim. You see, the issue that the government had with marijuana is that it is really easy to grow. It grows like a weed. And if they're trying to tax alcohol and tobacco, it's going to be really hard. If people don't want to pay those taxes and they decide to convert to growing their own marijuana to avoid paying taxes for their drugs. So the government recognized this and determined that if they wanted to keep making money off of the sale of tobacco and alcohol, they needed to outlaw marijuana. So they did just that in the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. One side believes that marijuana should remain illegal because it is a harmful drug associated with criminal behavior. The other side argues that marijuana has many beneficial purposes, including the treatment of asthma, glaucoma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, and even treatment of cancer. They also argue that it would give a much-needed boost to our dying economy by saving over $10 billion annually in marijuana prevention costs. And if they were to tax marijuana similar to the way that they tax alcohol and tobacco, they would raise another $10 billion annually. That's a $20 billion swing in government revenue, all thanks to legalizing marijuana. The proximity of the legalization debate hits right here at home. Medical marijuana has been legalized in the state of Michigan, as well as many other states. In fact, we're already seeing medical marijuana shops here in Lansing, and they're trying to open one right by our Chippewa Middle School. Obviously, the legalization debate is a very severe topic. Congress discusses it often, and news articles are written about it daily. Many measures have been taken to legalize marijuana. States are drafting bills to allow for the use of marijuana for medical purposes. The fact that these bills are being passed into law in many states shows that these measures are being successful. Even though medical marijuana is not the same as full legalization, it is definitely a step in the right direction. The proposed future of the legalization situation is that many diseases will be controlled using marijuana. Patients with cancer, glaucoma, asthma, and many other diseases will now be able to live longer and happier lives. The government taxation issue will be taken care of. A newfound legal marijuana business will create many jobs. The economy will receive the much-needed boost they've been waiting for. The jail and prison overcrowding situation will be diffused, and people will be able to legally enjoy the effects of marijuana as they wish. Society should have knowledge on the legalization of marijuana in order to overcome the negative connotations with criminals and drug addicts. Having a better understanding of the benefits of marijuana will help people to look beyond the negative associations that the government has spoon-fed us through propaganda for the last 70 years.
My name is Jeffrey Myron. I'm a visiting professor of economics at Harvard University. I've been studying this subject for about 15 years. We shrink the deficit simply because we would stop spending all the money we're spending, locking people up, prosecuting people for drug crimes, arresting people for drug crimes, and at the same time, we would tax the income that's generated in the drug market. Even if we tax drugs at rates similar to all other goods, we would collect billions of dollars in tax revenue. And if we tax them at rates similar to those on, say, alcohol and tobacco, we would probably collect tens of billions of dollars in tax revenue every year. So the deficit would certainly go down because of lower expenditure and higher tax revenues.